up there.
Okay, I see it's 6 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, June 3 regular meeting of the Mound Planning Commission. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McEnany.
Aye.
Planning Commission Member Wallace.
Here.
Planning Commission Member Nick Rosner.
Here.
Vice Chair, Planning Commissioner Jason Baker.
Here.
Planning Commission Member Drew Heel.
Here.
Planning Commission Member Samantha Wacker.
Here.
Planning Commission Member Kristen Young.
Here.
Planning Commission Chair David Good.
Here. We have before you the agenda that Sarah sent out by email. There are not any amendments. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as distributed.
Motion to approve agenda as distributed.
Second?
We have a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have also before you, as sent by email, regular meeting minutes of the April 1, 2025 meeting of the commission. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as distributed unless anyone has changes or amendments.
Motion to approve as distributed.
Second?
Motion and second. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Board of Adjustment and Appeals, review/recommendation, planning case 25-05, variance for fence height and front setback at 2881 West Edge Boulevard, applicant Tim and Ellen Williams. Ms. Sarah.
Good evening, members of the Planning Commission, guests and applicants. My name is Sarah Smith. I'm the planner for the City of Mound, and I'll be providing a overview of the variance application that we have submitted for the property at 2881 West Edge Boulevard. If you can advance the slide, Ms. Sarah. The applicant is Tim and Ellen Williams, as was mentioned by Mr. Good. Depicted on the overhead shows the location of the property. It is located at the intersection of two improved roads known as Pine Road and West Edge Boulevard. For the purpose of setbacks, both are considered to be front, but for the purpose of determining what is the rear, West Edge Boulevard is deemed to be the front. This property includes a single-family home with an attached two-car garage. Next slide, please. The applicant is requesting a variance to allow installation of a 6-foot privacy fence that would replace an existing 5-foot chain link fence that's located on portions of the property. The fence is proposed to be installed in the front setback area along Pine Road. Fences in this area within the front setback dimension of 30 feet are limited to not more than 4 feet. The applicant is requesting a portion of the fence in the front setback area to be 6 feet to allow for privacy for their family's property. Next slide, please. Very simply, the comp plan guides this property and neighboring areas as single family, low density. The zoning is single family R1, which means it typically has a 10,000 square foot minimum, a 30-foot front setback, as was indicated a few moments ago. This is a corner lot, so it is subject to setbacks on two elevations, both on Pine Road and on West Edge Boulevard. The proposed fence is depicted on the overhead, and what you can see is there is an existing 5-foot fence that runs basically parallel with the side of the house facing Pine, and that runs horizontally and then extends southward, generally in the vicinity of the west property line, and then turns to scooch back to the house on the corner. That, as was stated earlier, that's a 5-foot chain link fence. The applicant is requesting that we allow for the portion of the fence that's located within that 30-foot setback to be located, to have a height rather of 6 feet rather than limited to 4 feet. And as depicted in the lower graphic on the right-hand side, you can see in red that fence would basically replace the existing fence that's there, but it would change in its height and appearance in that it would proposed to be constructed at a 6-foot elevation rather than 5. And as was indicated in the planning report, the segment of chain link fence between their west property line and their back corner of their home facing their west line, that would stay in its current location that includes a 5-foot chain link fence. Next slide, please. Just a little bit about fences. As was noted in the report, generally speaking, fences within the front setback are limited to 4 feet in height. Fences that are located beyond the required setback are allowed to be 6 feet in height in most cases, and they can run along property lines and they can demarc property lines as long as all improvements are constructed on the applicant's shared portion of the property line. It's important to note that only a portion of the fence would be located within the front setback because as you can see, the existing house in its corner is located about 16 feet, and the applicant is proposing to align the fence to match up with that elevation. So they are not requesting a 6-foot fence from their property line abutting Pine Road. Rather, it'll be set back a little bit. So we are not seeing the 6-foot fence within the entirety of the front setback area along Pine Road. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, you can see that I'm not sure to turn this off. Again, here is the area of the fence. This is the corner of the house. As was mentioned in the report, the setback of the existing house in this location is 16.5 feet. And then there is an existing right-of-way of about 11 feet before the edge of back of curb. So even though it's 30 foot, it's actually quite a distance, and I think we estimated between 28 and 29 feet from the edge of curb based on the right-of-way alignment for this road. Again, dimension-wise, what they're proposing is to replace the chain link in this location, kind of run it alongside the property line, and as it scooches down, it'll be closer to the property line, and then this segment of chain link fence, which is 5 feet, would stay. Next slide, please. As is normal, we did route the application to affected departments, staff, agencies. We have not received any comments back. As is also normal and customary, we also provided notification of the variance application to what we call affected properties, ones that are close by, ones that are across the street, just to make them aware of the Planning Commission's consideration of the variance at tonight's meeting. We may have someone here, or perhaps we don't. The Planning Commission's consideration of the variance, as was noted in the planning report, staff has recommended approval. Included in the planning report are not only findings of fact, but recommended conditions that are for your consideration based on the Planning Commission's review of the matter and discussion as a commission, but also with the applicant who is present this evening. There is an opportunity to ask questions. There's an opportunity to make a recommendation if that's where the Planning Commission wants to go. Staff's recommendation is for approval. I will be happy to answer any questions by members of the Planning Commission or folks that are with us this evening.
Okay, questions for Sarah?
So just to be clear.
Yeah.
If this was an interior lot,
Yeah,
the height for a fence, 6 feet is fine.
yeah,
On a
right.
side.
If that had another lot next to it,
Yep.
it would be fine in that location. That's correct.
Okay.
And then did you happen to mention the materials that they're going to use for the new fence?
Yeah, and maybe that's a question we can confirm with the applicant, but our understanding is that it's a privacy fence, but you can certainly ask specific materials since Mr. William was kind to join us this evening.
Great, thanks.
I do have a question. You were talking about the right-of-way and the distance from the curb. So what is the total distance from the curb to the?
From back of curb to the property line, it's about 11 feet plus or minus. We used our blue beam. we do have a survey from the property owner, but we loaded it up and used our own calculations. And then it's about 28 to 29 feet between the back of curb to where, in the vicinity where the fence is going to start. So it's
Okay.
significantly back.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And we
it-
measure from the
We
right of
measure
way.
from the property line,
Yep.
correct, Ms.
Okay.
Walt, right
Gotcha.
here. Yeah,
Gotcha.
good questions, thank you.
Could you say more about the spirit of the front-facing restriction being 4 feet and different from other ones?
Yeah, I think where that likely derives from is that putting tall fences within the front setback, it creates potentially kind of a walled-off effect. Kind of where the 4-foot comes is kind of looking at like a neighborhood chain link or neighborhood picket fence, which is kind of normal that you'd see in a front, versus once you get back behind that front area, fences for privacy and for demarking property lines, we allow it to go higher. I think that's where that probably comes from. I also wanted to mention as well that what we'd often see with corner lots is that the fence will not be within that site triangle. That's also something that we want to make sure that we're not, putting improvements in here that are too tall, that when you come this way or go this way, that it blocks vehicular traffic's movement. But,
And what do you consider the feet for the triangle?
oh goodness, I'm sorry I don't have that math calc with me, but it's a measurement that goes back from this point to this
Yep,
point, and then
yep.
you, and then you.
I was just wondering
Yeah.
how many feet that is.
Yeah.
Okay,
But this fence will be outside the site triangle.
right, I got it.
Yep.
Okay, further questions for Sarah? Further discussion amongst the commission? Hearing none?
Thank you for your kind attention.
Mr. Williams, would you like to address the commission?
I don't have any additional comments. Sarah did a perfect job. Yes.
Okay, we
You
need,
asked about-
sir, our custom is you give us your name and your address.
Timothy Williams, 2881 West Edge Boulevard, which is the corner lot with Pine Road, West Edge Boulevard. You asked about materials. The quote I got from Lowe's was for cedar. I think it's going to look so much nicer than the sagging chain link fence that's there now.
Yeah,
It's been
I
there for
drove
a
by
good
the
while.
property, and I think it'll be a nice enhancement. I just wondered what, if it was going to be white or wood or,
I think the natural color
yeah, it'll look
is,
great.
is what my intention is, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, further questions for Mr. Williams?
And thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, you have all read the supporting documentation from Sarah. On page 7 of our packet, there is a recommendation by staff for recommendation for approval from the commission to the council on this request with 3 conditions and 3 findings of fact. Do I hear any further discussion? Hearing none, Chair would entertain a motion.
So I'll make a motion to approve planning case 2505, variance for fence height for 2881 West Edge, with conditions 1 through 3 and findings of fact 1 through 3, both on page 7.
Second.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All right, motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on. City Council, oh,
May I
ma'am?
just offer, with deference to the planning commission, just a comment to the applicant? I think we're going to, because I know it's construction season, and this is fairly straightforward with staff and planning commission, I think we're gonna turn this, if we can, so it'll be included potentially on next Tuesday's city council meeting as a consent item. So that way you'd be done.
So I can request a permit after next.
After
Tuesday?
that, if we receive approval and I'm able to push that through tomorrow, In the event my day falls apart, then it goes to the second council meeting, but we're sure gonna try.
All right.
All
Thank
righty.
you. I'll keep up.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
members of the planning commission.
Okay, moving on. City council liaison, Kath?
Well, it's been a pretty light agenda recently, so I guess the unofficial kickoff to summer is the fish fry, so hopefully we'll see you all there this Saturday. And then next Thursday starts Music in the Park, Pandora's Other Box with Mi Pueblo food truck. And then the following nights will be July 10th, which is the Panhandlers, and that'll be Daruma. And August 7th is Chris Kelly Live with Mi Pueblo again for the food truck. And that's really all I've got tonight.
Okay, any
Thanks,
questions for
Summer.
Kathy?
How's the library going? And the
Well, you know, we're going to
temporary
have a temporary library in the city hall, but they haven't been making a lot of movement at this point. So we'll be ready for returns and things as soon as the library is ready to shut down. But there have been a few setbacks, so nothing's happening yet.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Sarah?
Miss McEnany had a lot of good events that are coming. Farmers Market started a couple weeks ago. That's always exciting. As you said, fish fry is getting ready. We'll see a lot of activity in the next couple of days. Everybody's excited about that. Spirit of the Lakes is coming up next month, the 17th through the 19th. So we're all really excited about that. Tour de Tonka will be coming forward in August, and I think we're gonna be hearing from them about this year's activity at next Tuesday's council meeting. As a reminder, our next meeting is July 1st, and the next regular meeting after that is our August meeting, which was moved at the beginning of the year from the 5th through the 3rd Tuesday, so that everybody can attend Night to Unite. So just as a reminder, and we'll let you know, but that we moved all those meetings accordingly earlier in the year, because that's an annual activity that members of the planning commission and council partake in, so it allows everybody to do that. It's very busy with events and property inquiries and projects, and we're doing all right. We're hanging in there best we can. But we are excited for summer, and it's, as you know, I was traveling, so I'm glad to be back, kind of getting back to normal, I hope, as normal as I am anyway.
Do you have any comments about the Halsted
Oh,
Bay project?
yeah, if you haven't, I would encourage you, watch the last Tuesday's council meeting. The original applications that the council saw as a council introduction, which we were moving forward for public hearing at a special meeting of this body, were withdrawn, and they came forth with an amended plan that has different arrangement. It now has a condo, and it has a four unit of townhome complex, and a single-family home, and then a water accessory building. Council heard that last Tuesday, and we are reaching back to them to check on where we're at with applications, because I think we're gonna be expecting things soon. And, you know, I think it's possible that we may see them for hearing in July. And otherwise, you know, our next meeting isn't, without doing something special, isn't until mid-August. So I think we wanna keep things moving with regards to keeping on a schedule. They were also on Minnetrista's planning commission that same night, and I haven't heard how things went, but we'll be checking in with the developer to just kind of help them best that we can to keep things moving.
Just a side note, you know, in their initial presentation, they were treating Mound as sort of the stepsister, and we asked them to step things up, and it really looks great. They're going to do a really nice job. In fact, I don't know if anybody else got this on a magazine in their mail, but they had kind of a layout and a property, how it's going to be broken down. It looks really great. So hopefully they will be able to get started quickly and
Yeah,
clean that space
and I don't
up
know if
over
we've
there.
taken down the old stuff yet, but we will, but we'll, as soon as new applications come. But otherwise, you can certainly look at and see what was in the council packet, or watch last Tuesday's meeting, because they did a nice job presenting that to members of the council. So, but thank you. And it's nice to see everybody. We have everybody here. It's great. Thank you.
Okay, I see we have no information items. Are there any other matters that anyone wants to bring before the commission? Hearing none, Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you for coming.